everybody? Welcome to the show today, guys. Trump says no more mercy. No mercy for anyone that's against the America First policies. No more mercy for the Democrats. They wanted Trump dead. They literally withheld Secret Service from him during his rallies. Every single Democratic judge is going against every single Trump MAGA policy, and he says, I'm done with it. No more mercy. We are so close to a government shutdown now because Democrats are so upset, and even Republicans, that Trump pulled back $5 billion in foreign aid spending with a White House pocket rescission. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. I'm telling you, you cut off the money, you see the real snakes that are involved. And Trump is so done with everybody. It happened this morning. It's official. DOJ has finally opened up a criminal investigation into Lisa Cook, the Federal Reserve governor, who Trump is seeking to fire over allegations of mortgage fraud. It's happening. Every single person, if you are corrupt, if you're not putting America first, your butt's going to be out. And I'm telling you this, guys, with what I'm about to tell you next, I told you, the DC is full of so many just horrible, corrupt people. But when it comes to the rules that they have, that they can tell us whatever they want to, never be held accountable, Thomas Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene are turning it on its head. Representative Thomas Massie has announced that he and Marjorie Taylor Greene are pushing forward to name the Epstein list names on the House floor under their constitutional speech or debate immunity, because the victims could get sued if they do it themselves. There is a speech or debate immunity that allows anybody on Congress in the floor to say whatever they want. They can lie, they can say false claims, and now Representative Thomas Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene want to use that same immunity to name off everybody in the Epstein client list. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. I'm telling you, like, we are seeing unprecedented stuff today. RFK Jr. is being hammered right now on Congress floor by everybody because he has exposed the most corrupt, just horrible things that have been happening in terms of the medical society, sciences, things like that, against our health, against our children. Even this, RFK Jr. on COVID said we were lied about everything. We were lied about natural immunity. We were told again and again the vaccines would prevent transmission, that they'd prevent infection. It wasn't true, and they knew it from the start. Even CDC employees are allegedly working to sabotage and try to oust RFK Jr. from his position at HHS. When you go against the swamp, when you go against all the snakes and the corruption and you hit their money, guys, we knew this was going to be a fight. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you trust RFK Jr.? Because I do. Well, I've never trusted, when we had, what was it, 20, 30 years ago, 1 in 30,000 kids was autistic. And then now for boys, it's 1 in 31. 1 in 31. I feel like, you can say I'm crazy or not, but to me, statistically, it makes sense. If you can make society dumber, if you can make them so that they can't function properly, it's easier to control them, and that's what RFK is doing, and he's exposing right now. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because I'm telling you this. Senior officials, they're getting serious about this, guys. Senior officials at the U.S. Department of Justice have held multiple meetings in recent days to consider a possible federal ban of transgendered individuals from owning firearms. And I think, guys, hear me out. If you take a medication that says you might have suicidal thoughts or you may want to cause harm to others, you shouldn't be allowed to have a firearm. That should be against the law. To me, that's common sense. And when you look at the things that they said on the firearms that this transgender person had, that they wanted to kill Trump, like, it's just out there. It's too much. It's not safe. We've got to make changes, y'all. They're doing it right now. Trump is saying no mercy to anybody. It's time to eliminate and drain the swamp. And they're doing it right now with what I have to show you today, guys. This is getting deep. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. We got a big breaking news show for you today. Bombshell news, RFK, everybody on the floor is going at it right now. They're yelling, they're fighting, they're protesting. It is nuts. Want to say thank you to everybody who's watching the show. Thank you to all of our subscribers and members. Y'all are the best. Thank you so much from the bottom of our heart as we are here to serve you. Want to give some special love to all those that are members of the channel, helping us in our giving, to all those that give a super chat donation. Guys, please give some special love to Angela Broom, Mr. Norby. Show Mr. Norby and Angela Broom some love, as well as Jeffrey Hatt. Thank you so much, brother, for the super chat. Let's go. And if you don't mind doing us a huge favor of hitting that thumbs up like button, guys, we got a big show for you today. We're getting the fireworks going. The stuff that when the Trump was literally out and upset, that a lot of these leftists were upset that when Trump survived and everything is coming out, what you're about to see next, we have to protect Trump. No mercy for the corrupt individuals. Listen to this.
Complimenting the legacy media. Because Donald Trump is working so hard at all hours of the day and night. The media all noticed when suddenly he wasn't around for a few days, which is all true.
And let me tell you this, y'all. You want to know, Trump ain't going nowhere. This guy's trying to cement himself in being the greatest president ever. Look at this. Trump literally posted himself right in the open spot on Mount Rushmore. Let me know your thoughts. Should Trump be on Mount Rushmore? But it's just hilarious what we're seeing, especially from Trump. And look, I don't know if you noticed, but they added smiles to all the Mount Rushmore people. I think it's hilarious. Look. They start off with no smiles, and then they get up, they end up smiling. I want to say thank you so much, Jeffrey Hatt, for the super chat. Let's go. He said the Communist Party is falling apart in front of our eyes. We are at war with the communists, 100%. And thank you so much, Gregosaurus Galoris, for the super chat. Let's go. He said RFK rocks. Go get them. Expose those deep state rats. 100%, brother. Y'all show Greg some love in the chat, as well as Miss Real. Said, Joel, you are a true patriot. Love you and your family. Love you too. Show Miss Real some love in the chat, everybody. And I'm telling you, look at this. It is official. U.S. Department of Justice launches criminal investigation into Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook. No more playing around. We are going full steam ahead, working to literally change this entire world. And it's funny because the lies and the things that we have seen over the past just 4 to 5 years have blown my mind. I know they've blown your mind. But look at this too. GOP lurches towards shutdown as Democrats vow they won't be rolled. Trump pulls back $5 billion, guys, just $5 billion in foreign aid spending. And now the Democrats say they're not moving an inch. I'm telling you, the fight is so real right now. They wanted Trump dead. He's so alive. He's kicking. He's changing everything across the landscape, and they can't stand it. And now we have 3 to 4 district judges that have stopped all kinds of things across the nation against Trump. Listen to this, guys, because I'm telling you, the fight is real, and we need to eliminate the funding for these corrupt judges. Listen to this.
Davis joins us by phone. Mike, so with everything going on, probably the most important thing about us moving with alacrity and getting things done are still the radical nature of the courts. I want to get to Google in a minute, but walk me through just where we stand, because every day I see that it looks like, whether it's trying to deport people, mass deportations, Aliens Act, other things President Trump's trying to do, these courts are now trying to getting in the way more than ever, sir?
Yeah, the judicial sabotage continues even after President Trump and his all-star Justice Department team are winning monumental cases at the Supreme Court of the United States. You still see these radical Democrat activist judges around the country trying to undermine not only the President of the United States and his Article 2 power, they're undermining the Supreme Court of the United States and its Article 3 judicial power by ignoring these cases. I know that Justice Gorsuch, my former boss, called out these judges. In one of his recent writings, Justice Gorsuch said, you can disagree with our decisions, but you can't ignore them. You can't disregard them. And that's what these activist judges are doing. President Trump and Attorney General Pam Bondi, White House counsel Dave Warrington, Todd Blanche, the Deputy Attorney General, Chad Mizell, the Chief of Staff, John Sauer, the Solicitor General, Harmeet Dillon, the head of Civil Rights, Tash Patel, Dan Bongino. They're doing a great job every day. They're cleaning up crime in D.C. They've, with Kristi Noem and Tom Homan and Stephen Miller, they've sealed the border. They're expelling illegal aliens, particularly foreign terrorists and other violent criminals. They're fighting every day on these matters, and they have Democrat lawyers, Democrat plaintiffs, Democrat witnesses, Democrat judges, Democrat operatives throwing sand in the gears constantly because these Democrats know they're going to lose, but this is about running out the clock.
Yep, right there.
Let me go to just three major things. There's the centerpiece of America First and President Trump's program. Number one, on the tariffs, we've had a judge rule that you can't use the emergency powers. On deportation, a judge has ruled you can't use the Alien and Enemies Act. These were all, I'm not saying creative, but really kind of very well thought through, but very outside the box thinking. Number three, I think on Posse Comitatus, they're saying we really can't send troops into Chicago, Los Angeles, or New York outside of D.C. The three big things: law and order, redoing the world's commercial relationships, and getting 10 million bad hombres, illegal alien invaders out of the country. The courts right now have struck all. Am I correct? Have they struck it?
Yep.
Struck it. It's more than sand in the gear. They've struck those all down as we currently sit here today on the afternoon of 3 September.
Guys, let me tell you this. It's so bad. It's so bad right now. Federal judges anonymously criticize Supreme Court for overturning decisions that they've made with emergency rulings, and now they're just going one right after the other. There's nothing that stops a district judge from putting a ruling against a presidential order or a policy. That's how bad it is. That's how broken our system is right now. And look at this. A judge reverses Trump's admin freeze on Harvard federal spending. I'm telling you, I promise there's people getting paid. There's people that are in the know, in the deep pockets of the deep state, and we are exposing them all because, again, it's only Democrat judges. Republican judges are like, there's nothing here. And then I've already shown y'all, when it comes to the Supreme Court and the appellate court, Trump is 18-0, has not lost. But when it comes to these corrupt district judges that are so partisan that they're trying to make sure the slush fund money keeps going, this is what we're seeing right here. It's a total swamp. Andy, thank you so much, brother, for the super chat. Let's go. Says scientists are trying to create a dental floss that can deliver an mRNA vaccine and others. They had already experimented with lab mice and it was a great success. Be aware, meat is already being injected. 100%. Y'all show Andy some love in the chat. This is why RFK is so important and what we're going to show you next, because he tells us the dang truth. Chris Prez, brother, OG of the channel, gifting 5 TrueLife News memberships. If you got a free membership from our brother Chris, show him some love in the chat. Thank you so much, brother. You are awesome, helping us grow our family. And thank you so much, James Hubbard, for the super chat. Guys, show James, a member of the channel, some love in the chat. I'm telling you, what you're about to hear next, it's all about the money. And it's all about how many times people are getting paid off, lobbyists and all this, guys. I'm telling you, this is just hitting my heart so much because we know it's literally happening right before our eyes. Listen to this.
Yeah, I mean, what I mean by thin of the gears is that these judges know, these Democrat activist judges know they're going to have their decisions reversed by the Supreme Court of the United States, but that's going to take weeks or even months for that to happen. And that's what I mean by throwing sand in the gears. And I would say this, remember, these judges sat by and let Biden import 20 million illegal aliens, a mass invasion of our country. This is a violation of we the people's most fundamental sovereign rights. And that sovereign right is to control our border and control our population. And I'll say this to these judges, including on the Supreme Court. At no time did we the people give away that sovereign power, that sovereign right to control our border and our population, not at our founding with the Fifth Amendment, not after the Civil War with the 14th Amendment, and no Congress since then, and certainly not after the last election. President Trump campaigned on the fact he's going to seal the border, he's going to expel these terrorists, he's going to reduce crime, and he's delivering on his campaign promise. And these judges need to get the hell out of his way.
Mike, can you hang on for 1 second or take a short break? Here's a question I want to give you, and I'll wait for the answer on the other side. All three of these, I think, get back to the Article 2 powers, his emergency powers, both on the tariffs, on the Aliens Act, and on law enforcement, on posse comitatus. Mike Davis will give us the answer. They have gummed it up more than that. I mean, they are everywhere. Like we said, to delay is to deny. We need a maximalist strategy. We need to move with urgency and seize the institutions. The only thing the Democrats have going for them right now is these radical judges, and they're using it to the utmost. Like I said, President Trump is winning, but an overwhelmed Justice Department. And this is why we should have done the recess appointments in August, folks, in August. Not wait to get back. And Toons talking about doing some things on the margins, right, for some judicial appointments. Of course, the Republicans always want to get the judges through. Mike Davis was the tip of the spear of us for that. We need the Grundoons. We need the deputy assistant secretary, the assistant secretary, the undersecretaries, more people at justice, these U.S. attorneys. President Trump needs to fight with a full team. Short commercial break. Mike Davis.
Guys, let me show you this. Because again, I don't know about y'all, but I've lost full trust in the CDC. I don't believe these people, especially when it comes to money and pharmaceuticals and all this stuff. I don't believe it. Let me know your thoughts, because when you hear stuff like this, this is to me, this is the straw that breaks the camel's back. It's so upsetting because this happened, and it happened here in America, and nobody could do a dang thing about it.
Do you believe COVID-19 was politicized?
Yeah, the whole process was politicized. Senator, I mean, we were lied to about everything. We were lied to about natural immunity. We were lied to about, we were told again and again the vaccines would prevent transmission, they prevent infection. It wasn't true. They knew it from the start it wasn't true, because that's what the animal studies and the clinical trials showed. We were told that there was science behind cloth masks. The CDC allowed the teachers union to write the order closing our schools, which hurt working people all over the country, and then pretend it was science-based. All of these issues, and then I can show you, like, for example, Chairman Wyden was talking about me politicizing ACIP. During COVID, probably the most famous scientist on ACIP was Martin Kulldorff from Harvard, the great, world-renowned epidemiologist and vaccinologist. And he criticized the COVID booster mandates. They ejected him from COVID because he wasn't in the orthodoxy. The two biggest health officials at FDA during COVID, Dr. Gruber and Dr. Krause, criticized the Biden mandates, vaccine mandate. President Biden said in August, I would never take that vaccine, the Trump vaccine. And he came in, he mandated it, and then he fired the two top health officials at FDA who said, hey, this thing has not been properly tested. So the whole process was politicized, and even today.
I'm 15.
They lied to us about everything. If you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support. I'm telling you, all this stuff that we're seeing and everybody that's coming after them, it is hilarious because we don't hold back on anybody, guys. If you're a Republican, if you're a Democrat, I don't give a crap. I care about the truth. And when you hear things like this, I'm telling you, this stuff is going to change the United States forever. Elaine Soltis, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. She said, I see the swamp draining faster and faster, and wow, it's so fun to watch. However, get rid of these rogue judges and don't believe anything these left liberals say. Amen, sister. Y'all show Elaine some love in the chat. And Chris Prez, OG of the channel for being a member for 1 month, said there just might be enough room on Rushmore to carve an auto pin for Biden. Oh my goodness. That's a good one. That's a good one. Y'all show Chris and Elaine some love in the chat and listen to this too.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just tell you one example, and I could sit here and give you thousands. But in 2002, CDC did an internal study of Atlanta and Fulton County, Georgia children, and looked at children who got the MMR vaccine on time and compared those to kids who got them later. So in other words, kids who got them before 36 months and kids who got them afterward. The data from that study showed that black boys who got the vaccine on time had a 260% greater chance of getting an autism diagnosis than children who waited. The chief scientist on that, Dr. William Thompson, the senior vaccine safety scientist at CDC, was ordered to come into a room with 4 other co-authors by his boss, Frank DiStefano, who's the head of the immunization safety branch, and ordered to destroy that data. And then they published it without that fact.
Did you hear that? RFK reveals that in 2002, a chief scientist at CDC was brought into a room and ordered to destroy data from a study showing that black boys who got the MMR vaccine on time versus those who waited had a 260% higher chance of being diagnosed with autism. That's why I'm telling you, we're exposing everybody, draining the swamp. It's so bad, y'all. It blows my mind. And as we listen to what you're about to hear next, it is a fight like nobody's business to even just expose the truth. And remember, all the conspiracy theories, guess what? They're all being true now. Listen to this.
President Trump's emergency powers, the emergency power on the national manufacturing, economic, and the situation with fentanyl, on the tariffs. You got the deportations using the Alien and Enemies Act, and then you've got the emergency powers to get around posse comitatus in D.C. and now in Chicago, New York, and L.A., New Orleans. President Trump said this show is done so well in D.C. He's taking it on the road. Your thoughts, sir?
Well, I would say this to these activist judges like Judge Charles Breyer, the 83-year-old brother of former Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer, these Democrat judges, that the President of the United States can use the military to repel an invasion of our country. And when we have 20 million illegal aliens who were imported into our country unlawfully by the last President of the United States, it is within the President's constitutional power and his constitutional duty to repel that invasion. And he can use the military to do that because these are foreign terrorists in our country. These are violent foreign criminals in our country who are raping, kidnapping, torturing, murdering Americans. And so the president has the power to do that separate from any statute, right? He has the power as the commander-in-chief to do that. And I would say this about the tariffs, that is within the president's foreign policy power, and that cannot be taken lightly. And you should always, when you're a judge, you should always err on the side of the president of the United States if there's a question whether the president has power as it relates to foreign policy. And I think that's where the Supreme Court is going to end on these tariff cases. But stepping back a broader picture, that remember, President Trump campaigned on the fact he's going to do all these things, and the American people liked what they heard. They gave him an overwhelming electoral mandate, 312 electoral votes, all 7 swing states, the popular vote. He kept the House. We won a comfortable margin in the Senate. The American people gave the president a mandate to lead, and he's using core Article 2 power to lead. And he's not stealing legislative power from Congress. He's not stealing judicial power from the Supreme Court. It's core Article 2 power. But I would say this, Are these courts going to step in when we have unelected executive branch bureaucrats like Tony Fauci making decisions on behalf, on behalf of the American people? I don't see these judges for the last 60 years or 80 years or 90 years going back to when the administrative state was set up. I don't see these judges stepping in and stopping the unelected bureaucrats when they do things that many would say is outside of their constitutional power. But these judges are sure quick to go after President Trump, the elected president of the United States, when he's fulfilling his campaign mandate. They're sure quick to go after him when he's exercising full Article 2. So it's obvious to anyone that this is political, this is partisan by these activist judges. They have a policy disagreement with the American people who elected this president of the United States to do what he's doing. And these judges are acting outside of their judicial roles. Their job is to wear robes, not capes. Their job is to decide cases and controversies of the parties properly before them with redressable claims. Nothing more, nothing less. That is their Article 3 power. And we have too many narcissists and capes instead of judges alone.
I'm telling you, y'all, this right here, people are going to see the truth one way or another. Thomas Massie announced that he and Marjorie Taylor Greene are seriously considering naming the Epstein list names on the House floor under their constitutional speech or debate immunity, because the victims could get sued for doing it themselves, because we told you that the victims want to make their own list. Well, you know what? This just shows you. When they say we're going to use this to expose the bad people, I love it. But just always remember that on the flip side, they use this to lie to the American people, to say bad things about America First policies, because there's immunity. They could say whatever they want. They could say that Trump is stealing Social Security. And guess what? They have immunity. They can never be held accountable. When they have that right there, that to me is corruption even in itself, that this dang policy even exists. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support, everybody. I'm telling you, we are exposing everything today. And again, everybody's back in Congress. We got a shutdown that's about, I believe it's closer than ever. GOP lurches towards a shutdown as Democrats vow they won't be rolled. The majority of America said we want Trump policies, and now we're seeing that this is getting harder and harder, and every judge is against Trump right now. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Deanna Rankin, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said, pray for the president and the people he has working for him. The left is demonic, not all, but most. God is in control. Thank you for your reporting. Deanna, thank you so much for your support. Show Deanna some love in the chat, as well as Lori Rapier. Say, keep praying for our president, his cabinet in America. Amen. Thank you so much, Andy, for the super chat. Said, time to question why all these illegals were allowed to come over to the country and no vaccination was mandated by Biden. That's a great point, Andy. Their government treated Biden not to vaccinate their people. I'm telling you, it's so stupid. They want to vaccinate our kids, but 20 million come into the border, and Andy's right. There wasn't no mandates at the border to vaccinate them. And thank you so much, Elaine Soltis, again for the super chat. Said KO, baby. Show them some love in the chat. Elaine, Andy, Lori, and Deanna Rankin. Because what I'm about to show you next, I'm telling you, no holding back. The people that are literally judges that are trying to destroy our country right now, listen to this. Kennedy doesn't hold back one bit.
Kennedy.
Professor, congratulations. I believe you testified that you think the Constitution should be interpreted according to its original public meaning. Is that right?
Yes, Senator.
What does original public meaning mean?
Yes, Senator. So the original part of that phrase refers to the fact that when we look at interpreting a text, we want to interpret it at the time it was.
Professor, look me in the eye and just answer my question. What does original public meaning mean?
It means the meaning that the text as it was understood by the public at the time it became law.
Okay. So you think Brown v. Board of Education was incorrectly decided?
Well, Senator, I think Brown versus Board of Education was correctly decided. Scholars who have looked at the original meaning of phrases at that time and the reasoning in that case sometimes question the reasoning of the case.
How many people in the United States of America at the time the Constitution was drafted do you think supported racial integration of schools? You think that was a majority view, do you?
Well, Senator, at the time...
But first, Professor, do you think that was a majority view? Do you think most Americans at the time the Constitution was drafted supported integration of public schools, racial integration?
Well, Senator, I don't know as a sociological matter what percentage of people thought what at that time. I should point out that when we got to Brown versus Board of Education, of course, there had been several fundamental amendments to the...
But isn't that inconsistent with your statement that you have to interpret it according to original public meaning?
Well, what about the 14th Amendment and the 13th Amendment and the 15th Amendment? So original public meaning would mean
what
with
about?
those... Well, that would mean we would interpret those amendments and those protections with the understanding of the text and structure at the time those amendments were ratified, which is different, of course, in the 19th century.
Let's go back to Brown v. Board. Look, I think Brown v. Board was correctly decided, and I suspect you do too. But if you say we interpret the Constitution according to the way that people at that time understood it, do you really think that people at that time in America supported racially integrated schools? Do you really believe that?
Well, Senator, I think at the time of the ratification of the 13th, 14th Amendment, and 15th, all which have...
But do you think people at that time supported integrated schools?
Well, Senator, on that particular question, I don't know it as a policy matter whether they were thinking about that particular issue. I think they certainly understood that the 14th Amendment, for which a massive part of this country essentially lost lives fighting the Civil War, certainly understood it to require racial equality.
You're not answering my question. I'm trying to understand I'm just trying to understand how you think. It's very easy to say, we interpret the Constitution according to its original public meaning, which as I appreciate your testimony, means the way people who read the Constitution at that time interpreted it. Is that right?
Yes, Senator.
Okay. Do you think that most people at that time looked at the United States Constitution and said, well, here it is, big as Dallas, racially integrated schools are required? Do you really believe that?
Senator, I don't know, but
And if you don't, I don't think you do, because I think historically that wasn't the case. So how do you square that with the holding of Brown v. Board?
Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is I think there are several steps in between that have not come up yet in our conversation, which is that you look at the text and structure, which of the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments clearly is requiring racial equality. And then over time, that has to be applied to different questions as they arise in context. So if the requirement is that all races be treated equally under the law, and the evidence shows that segregated schools is not doing that, then the requirement could be applied to integrate schools.
When you interpret a statute.
And I want to show you this because it's super important. You know, I'm telling you, if we do not drain the swamp, if we do not get the rhinos out, we will never be able to have Trump's nominees, and we're going to be dealing with what you're seeing right there, that I just showed you with Kennedy. Because, again, Leader John Thune is, to me, a rhino. They're trying to move forward with a rules change to speed up Trump's nominees when they could have just not taken a dang recess. Listen to this.
John Thune, you've got a problem on your hands here. I'm going to show everybody here. These pie charts here so you can see the number of confirmed nominees, okay? President Trump is basically being asked to run a marathon with 20-pound weights on his ankles because he can't get his team confirmed. How is this different than what Republicans have done to Democrats in the past?
Dana, this is different from anything that's been done in history, in both when you've had Republican and Democrat presidencies and Republican and Democrat control of the United States Senate. This is unprecedented. It is historic. It is a blockade unlike anything we've seen. It is Trump derangement syndrome. totally on steroids, and it's got to be fixed. We can't sustain this. The president needs his team in place. The American people voted for that. They want him to be able to implement his agenda. He needs his people in these key positions in order to do that. So
you just saw that, right? I want to show you this chart again. Look at this. Kind of blurry, y'all. Look at this. Through August, Trump 2.0, 0%. Biden, 57%. Trump 1.0, 65% of his nominees confirmed. Obama, 90%. W. Bush, 90%. Clinton, 98%. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear excuses. They could have done it. They could have moved forward, and we keep seeing them drag their dang feet. Thank you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, but I'm telling you, I'm so thankful that we get to expose this, and we got midterms coming up, and we need to get the right people in leadership. Want to say thank you so much, user HN30, which is Danny, who is a member of the channel. Y'all show Danny some love in the chat, as well as Lily Ignacio for the super chat. Say, hello, Joel. I hope more than 70 million who voted for Trump are still supporting him. I am support is still at 100% and will never change. Let's go. Y'all show Lily and Danny some love in the chat, as well as Mama Wolf for the super chat. Say, we need help in Colorado. Our governor pulled $1.3 billion from state Medicaid and signed a bill that still allows Colorados to do taxes on overtime and tips. Wow. Y'all show Mama Wolf some love in the chat. I'm telling you, if people would just move forward with America First policies, everybody would win. But when you're trying to protect illegals, when you're trying to make sure that you give money to overseas, that's whenever people are hurting. Just like what you're hearing now, guys. I'm telling you, we have to get our judicial nominees in check. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support.
You talked about interpreting according to its plain meaning. What if the statute is ambiguous?
Well, Senator, if the statute...
What do you do if it's ambiguous?
If it's ambiguous on the particular question coming before the court, I start with that phrase, but I also look at the context of surrounding provisions.
No. How I understand you define ambiguity as the language plus the surrounding language.
Yes.
I get that part. How ambiguous does it have to be? 51% ambiguous or just a little bit ambiguous?
So I have to say I would use the same approach essentially in all cases, regardless of the ambiguity, because I would always start with the text, move to the surrounding provisions with the aim of fully understanding what Congress and the president had enacted. And only at that
Professor,
point...
I'm going to run out of time. With respect, answer my question. Well, okay, you're giving me professor talk. How ambiguous does it have to be?
I mean, I think under the Supreme Court's recent precedent in Chevron, it underscored that the court can never just rest and say it's ambiguous. The court has to come up with an answer.
Yeah.
So
why don't you just look at legislative history?
Well, you can't look at legislative history statements one by one because the individual intent... Well, Senator, with respect, because this body has its role in our system as an institution, not one by one. So your personal understanding of the law doesn't matter.
This will be my last question. I'm sorry. Coons went way over. So you're telling me that it doesn't help you at all to go through and look at the congressional record or read the committee reports or any of that? You don't think that's helpful in interpreting what a statute means?
It depends on the way in which it's being read. If it gives helpful statutory history, if it helps to refer to other portions of context, sure, but not to give it legally binding impact in and of itself. I would always be looking at a broad range of sources and use each of these statements as just one piece of evidence about what people understood the statute to mean at the time. So no, I would never take a piece of legislative history in isolation and give it legal impact.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
I'm telling you, this is what we always deal with, and I hate it because it's like you can't ever get people to talk real, like real people. They always got to try to put in all their legal talk, all their big mumbo jumbo, and that's what I love with Kennedy, how he exposes them. But I also love this too, because when you have Trump's team who has a backbone of steel that's not afraid to call them out, guys, This is what we voted for. This is promises made, promises kept. This, I'm telling you, RFK is a G. Listen to this.
Confirmed in this job.
You're going like this.
That is, you promised that you would not take away vaccines from anyone who wanted them. You just
tell me what when you say take away vaccines, is RFK by removing the mandate? So instead of forcing people to take it, he's giving them the choice. Is that taking away vaccines, or is that just giving Americans their true freedom of choice?
change the classification of the COVID vaccine.
I'm not taking them away from people, Senator.
It takes it away if you can't get it from your pharmacist.
Well, most Americans are going to be able to get it from their pharmacy for free. Most Americans will be able to get it from their pharmacy for free.
The question is, everyone who wants it, that was your promise.
I never promised that I was going to recommend products with which there is no indication.
When you said...
And I know you've taken $855,000 from pharmaceutical companies, Senator.
Did you hold up a big sign saying that you were lying when you said that? Because you are the one who said you would not take them away. Now, Senator Kennedy,
I'm not taking them away from anybody.
Secretary,
you want me to indicate a product for which there is no clinical data?
Senator,
is that what you want?
Secretary Kennedy, you said you wouldn't, and now you did.
I'm not taking them away. Everybody can get access to them.
You hear that? You took $855,000 from these pharma, and then you want me to okay something that has no clinical data. Again, this is the facts. This is, to me, this is real talk. And guess what? I love bringing y'all the facts, and I love showing y'all that, you know what? When it comes to polling, people love RFK right now compared to everybody else. Listen to this.
Most popular of all the key officials that we have recent polling on. Pete Hegseth, his net favorable minus 14 points. J.D. Vance, minus 11. Marco Rubio, minus 10. RFK Jr. is at minus 7, but minus 7 beats minus 10, beats minus 11, beats minus 14. So, no, RFK Jr. is not a drag on President Trump. He's not the most embattled. In fact, he is the most popular official in Trump's cabinet, at least according to the polling.
It is interesting. Though there have been calls for his resignation among some people in the CDC, but this was surprising to me to see these poll numbers here, which is why I welcomed the fact check from you. Another thing in the news has to do with Florida, where they're trying to overturn all vaccine mandates, including vaccine mandates in school for children. What do the polls tell us about that?
Okay, this to me is one of the most interesting and, in my opinion, most troubling trend lines that we have seen. Okay, vax kids against infectious diseases, the government should require it. You go back to 1991, it was 81%, okay? Then we go to 2019 at 62%. Look at where that number fell to by 2024. It was just 51%. That is a 30-point drop from 34 years ago. My goodness gracious, now a bare majority say that the government should, in fact, require kids to be vaccinated against infectious diseases. Amongst Republicans, it's the opposite. The majority say the government shouldn't require it.
Right.
Now, I should point out this does depend on...
That's not freedom of choice. And to me, think about it, y'all. When you look at 1990 and you look at how many kids have autism, it was 1 in 30,000. Now with boys, it's 1 in 31. What's changed? They're giving them 60 to 70 vaccines within their first days of life. They didn't used to do that, but now they do. And you can't tell me, with common sense, y'all, you cannot tell me that injecting a baby within days of being born with Hep B, yes, the vaccine that's supposed to keep you from getting an STD, are you kidding me? Why are we injecting babies with that type of vaccine? You cannot tell me that injecting them with all these foreign chemicals is good for their production when they were just born. It's all about getting paid, because guess what? You know that doctors, they make money off those vaccines when you get them and when your kids get them. So when you see this, the government has lost so much trust from the American people because we see it with our own dang eyes. Stop lying to us, CDC. Stop lying to us, government. Because guess what? The numbers show it. People don't trust them anymore.
A little bit on question wording. The polling out this morning says that the government should encourage it, but encourage it is very different from requiring it. And when it comes to requiring it, the American public has become increasingly skeptical of the idea that, in fact, the government should require kids to be vaccinated against infectious diseases.
And I want you here to talk about the political environment surrounding the health apparatus in this country right now, because I'm about to talk to David Urban, our friend David Urban, Republican, who I guarantee you is going to say something to the effect of that there's no trust anymore, or the trust has fallen among public officials when it comes to health.
Yeah, this to me, if you're a public health official, this is perhaps the most worrying statistic that you should see. Look at this. Look at this. How well masks and vaccines limit COVID. Public health officials lied. They lied. In 2022, it was 45%. Look at where that number is now,
55%. I'm telling you, you cannot make this stuff up. When you get somebody like RFK Jr., who's exposing everything that we're seeing now, and you see that, dang it, they were right. It's so mind-blowing that people are trying to defend the lies. They won't admit it. When RFK Jr. said they lied about everything. That's why, again, you lost trust, you got to earn it back. And that's why we show you on here, people are fed up with it. Even this right here, this just came out moments ago, guys. We always show you the breaking news as it's happening. The government will redact every Republican while leaving every Democrat and liberal name visible on the Epstein client list, says acting deputy chief at the DOJ, Joseph Schnitt. I'm telling you, bombshells are about to be dropped, everybody. Let me know your thoughts in the comments if you appreciate this. If you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button. Domino Riot, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said it's good to see our Republicans holding them accountable. I know it's about dang time. Show Domino some love in the chat. As well as Tracy DeCambre said, love your channel, Joel. Love this family. We love you too, Tracy. Appreciate you, Tracy and Domino, for supporting the channel in your super chats. We really, she also said, MAGA united we stand, divided we fall. Amen. Love you all. And guys, don't forget to show Chris Prez some love in the chat for gifting 5 TrueLife News memberships. Growing the family, y'all. I'm telling you, the people, Trump is hitting everybody so hard with all the money, guys. It's always about the dang money that we are starting to get things exposed like never before. Listen to this.
The 4 more years, that's flying off the shelves. This comes 2 weeks after Trump had Zelensky and the European allies in the Oval in a show of diplomatic force. The stakes are high. There was another show of force across the globe. In Beijing, Xi had some friends over for dinner. Putin and Little Rocket Man got the red carpet treatment. Modi from India was there. He hadn't been to China in 7 years, but wasn't ready to march in the parade. Xi, Vlad, and Kim wanted a little alone time. They got caught on a hot mic, and it was a little weird.
In the past, people rarely lived longer than 70 years. But today, they say that at 70, you are still a child.
Human organs can be continuously transplanted. The longer you live, the younger you become, and can even achieve immortality.
Just 2 dictators fantasizing about immortality. If you ever wondered what they talked about when they didn't think people were listening, that's it. Trump wasn't there, but he sent Xi a message. Please give my warmest regards to Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un as you conspire against the United States of America. The Chinese leader also showed off his toys. He took Vlad and Kim to the military parade, gave them a look-see at his nuclear triad. And they even laid eyes on his robot wolves and underwater drones. CNN was downright giddy.
We're watching live pictures tonight, right now, a massive parade underway in Beijing as the Chinese President Xi Jinping is showing off his country's arsenal and military might to the world.
This is a message of strength. This is a message of victory. After all, they are commemorating the 80th anniversary of the...
Remember when this same news station that's literally in the United States, CNN, was like, oh, Trump is so bad for sending the B-2 bomber and jet and F-35s over Putin, and whenever they were having their talks. It is just mind-blowing to see them gush over China, and it just shows you what a joke they really are.
Surrender of Japan. This is a demonstration to China and the world that China is strong, it can protect itself.
Oh, CNN lavished more praise on China's military parade than Trump's. Remember?
We don't need a military parade. We don't need to spend millions or maybe hundreds of millions of dollars to do that. But we want to do it because he has to feed his inner image monster.
Oh my
CNN won't celebrate our military, but they're celebrating China's victory over Japan. It wasn't China that made the Japanese surrender in World War II. It was us.
Yep.
Japan colonized large swaths of China. Manchuria, Inner Mongolia, Taiwan, Hong Kong. Mao won a few small battles, but it was the U.S. military that decimated the Japanese Empire in the Pacific Theater and forced their surrender with atomic bombs, too. We basically liberated their country. Have the Chinese said thank you?
I thought it was a beautiful ceremony. I thought it was very, very impressive. But I understood the reason they were doing it, and they were hoping I was watching, and I was watching. President Xi's a friend of mine, but I thought that the United States should have been mentioned last night during that speech because we helped China.
Thank yous go a long way, especially if you want to do business, and especially if you want to do business with Trump. Trump's not too happy with India either. Modi shouldn't be cozying up with the Chinese. India's a democracy, an ally, and a key player to counter China. But they've been buying sanctioned oil from Russia on the black market. India doesn't have oil, and Russia's their neighbor, so it makes sense to buy it from Putin. But they're feeding Russia's war machine and making it harder for Trump to make peace in Ukraine. So we hit the Indians with tariffs. But we've got to give them a new source of energy. The Mideast owes us after we bombed Iran and gave them AI. So they should sell oil to Modi to wean them off Vlad's teat. Vlad lost his customers in Europe. Now America is selling energy to the French and Germans. So Putin's putting down a big old pipeline to China. It's supposed to be finished next decade and supply 15% of China's energy. Russia and China are growing closer. Someone might have to bomb that pipeline like Nord Stream. Trump's not thrilled with Pooty Poot.
I have no message to President Putin. He knows where I stand, and he'll make a decision one way or the other. Whatever his decision is, we'll either be happy about it or unhappy. And if we're unhappy about it, you'll see things happen.
Now, the media says Trump hasn't done enough. The president said, I'm just getting started.
You've expressed many times your frustration and disappointment with Putin, but there's no action since you took your office.
How do you know there's no action?
But
really?
Don't you worry?
Wait. Who are you with?
I'm with Polish radio.
Okay. How do you know there's no action?
Let me tell you this. I'm telling you, Trump, and this is what I love, is he'll call out everybody. And this is why this just broke, guys, moments ago. I want to show you how important it is, because everything that you're seeing, if the Democrats get any inkling in the House or the Senate, you can kiss all this progress goodbye. And that's why it's so important that Trump-backed redistricting push turns Midwestern state into the next political battleground. Missouri is now talking about redistricting. We need a red wave, baby. If we do not get more America First policies, we're such in a hole right now with our $37 trillion in debt. We have still 19 million illegals in the country because we had 20, but they've already removed about 1.3 million. We still got 19 million illegals in the country, unaccounted for, no idea where they're at. And we have to win this red wave. Let me know if you support the redistricting in the chat. Want to get some love to Andy. Thank you so much, Andy, for the super chat. Let's go. So we need to post a list of senators and Congress politicians who are getting money by Big Pharma. These monsters need to be exposed 100%. Show Andy some love in the chat, everybody. as well as Jogo for gifting 10 TrueLife News memberships. Growing the TrueLife News family. Show Jogo some love in the chat, everybody. OG of the channel. I love it. And Jogo, you got to tell us the name of your dog. I love it. Growing the family. We've got the best chat out there. Jogo also gave an amazing super chat. Said people in Congress and the House need to get their acts together. Either you're MAGA or you're not. America first, baby. Let's go. Man, I tell you what, such big stuff that's happening right now. Let's see if we can get some fireworks. Nope. I'm trying to get some fireworks, y'all. A lot of stuff is happening. And again, it's going to take people like Trump and his team, pit bulls, not holding back, calling people out, just like RFK called out Elizabeth Warren, just like Trump is calling out this reporter to hold them accountable. Y'all show Jogo some love in the chat, everybody.
Would you say that putting secondary sanctions on India, the largest purchaser outside of China, they're almost equal, would you say there was no action? That cost hundreds of billions of dollars to Russia. You call that no action? And I haven't done phase 2 yet or phase 3. When you say there's no action, I think you ought to get yourself a new job.
Now, if Putin blows off and drags out the Zelensky meeting and keeps escalating the war in Ukraine, Trump doesn't have a choice but to ramp up sanctions and tariffs, and he might have to turn the Europeans loose and add more firepower. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. The China trade deal, that's the white whale. If he captures it, it puts Xi in check, and India falls back into our lap, and we can do business with Modi. Remember, that's where Apple's setting up shop. Trump's already stopped wars in Asia, Africa, and the Mideast. He's just embarrassed that every time a world leader comes by to sign a peace deal in a Democrat city, they have to dodge bullets.
They are against preventing crime. They are fighting us. I want to go into Chicago, and I have this incompetent governor that doesn't want us. Do you know that this weekend 72 people were shot in Chicago? I'm embarrassed to say it in front of the president of Poland.
Chicago looks like Baghdad. And Trump's trying to save lives at home, just like he is overseas. Ribs won't call him and admit he needs help. Lightfoot, remember her? She's back. And she says, what warfare? Here comes the lawfare.
If he comes to Chicago, he's going to be in court. And he's going to be sued by the state, he's going to be sued by the city, and I believe that there will be private interests that also sue him. This is not about violent crime, and I don't think we should pretend that this manufactured crisis and his attempt to provoke people in Chicago is legitimate exercise of power. It is not.
There's nothing manufactured about 57 shot. Wow. I bet if the guard were there, there wouldn't be so many holes in bodies. After Mayor Johnson blamed guns and Republicans, an alderman said, the joke's on you.
I'm actually quite surprised he didn't blame the Confederacy, Richard Nixon, or colonialism for why we have all the problems in the city of Chicago, because those are also his go-tos.
JB Back Ribs has been complaining about how tough this week's been. All of this negative attention, the president saying he needs to lose weight. Hegseth says, you gotta be kidding me.
It's been a tough 10 days for the governor. What about the people that live in Chicago? What about the folks that live with unending violence right in their backyard with an incompetent government and mayor and governor who are unwilling to provide just basic security? So I don't feel bad for Governor Pritzker. He should be welcoming support.
Now, the Democrats have been...
Man, if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, I'm telling you guys, I love RFK Jr. so much because, again, when these Democrats are trying to call him out, and these Democrats across the board, whether Pritzker, whether it's all these other ones, we expose them all. And I'm bringing you live updates of what's going on right now in Congress, just as we're going through our live show, because it's hilarious. These people are so dang corrupt, and what we're seeing, I am so happy we're finally holding them accountable. Listen to this.
Credentials and expertise. Clearly, you have an agenda. It is a threat to the public health of the American people. It's clear that you are carrying out your extremist beliefs, which is why you attempted to fire Dr.
We're the sickest people in the world. We're the sickest people on earth.
I'm speaking.
How am I a threat?
Secretary Kennedy.
Look at his eyes, y'all. They can't stand it. We are literally the sickest first world country in the world. But again, RFK is the problem because he's got an agenda. Bay, thank you so much for the super chat. Member of the channel. Let's go. Y'all show Bay 239 New York City some love in the chat. Appreciate your membership and faithfulness. Tracy DeCombre, thank you so much for your support. Said Californians, our state needs help. Vote red. Let's go, baby. And again, don't forget to show Joe Go some love in the chat for gifting 10 True Life News memberships, growing our family.
Saying Donald Trump is only targeting blue states. Why doesn't he send the guard to red states? Well, he is.
I could do that with Chicago. We could do that with New York. We could do it with Los Angeles. So we're making a determination now. Do we go to Chicago or do we go to a place like New Orleans, where we have a great governor, Jeff Landry, who wants us to come in
Let's go.
and straighten out a very nice section of this country that's become quite tough, quite bad.
The mayor of D.C. didn't want the guard at first, too. Now Blue City Bowser is red-pilled. She wants the guard to stay till Christmas. And she says she'll coordinate with law enforcement.
Wow.
DC's going out to dinner, carjackings are down, not a single homicide in almost 2 weeks. That's how Democrats should do it. Unite with Trump. Take the credit and save lives.
Yes.
All it takes is a little humility. Surely if I can admit I'm wrong, Democrat politicians can too.
Man.
The strategy's working so well, Trump may take Melania out for date night.
You visit a restaurant in D.C. You haven't gone to.
I might. Sure.
You haven't gone to one in either of your terms that wasn't.
How do you know? How do you know?
Because I and many other.
Do you want me to
reporters
prove you
keep
wrong?
track.
Do you want me to prove you wrong?
Yes, please.
But I will. I think it's something we could consider doing. I'd love to do it. I love the White House food, but after a while, I can see going to a nice restaurant. It's safe.
Trump wants to make peace so he can go into heaven. Doesn't matter where it is, Chicago, Ukraine, D.C. He just wants people to live.
Yes, I love it, y'all. And I'm telling you, the investigations are here. 2 top investigations officially here. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, guys, thank you so much for your support. This is so massive. U.S. Department of Justice launches criminal investigation into Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook. And guess what just dropped? Kash Patel's FBI is officially investigating John Bolton for criminally mishandling U.S. national defense information involving classified documents. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. I'm telling you, we're bringing this as it's all breaking news. FBI search, they got the binders, they got phones, they got computers, and now they are officially launching the criminal investigation into him. Everybody, nobody's saved. Trump is trying to eliminate the swamp, and he's only going to be able to do that if you let everybody know what we're dealing with. No more holding back. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I am so thankful because I want to see people be held accountable. What about you? Let me know your thoughts in the comments because people are fed up with it, y'all. Listen to this.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker melting down over President Trump utilizing the National Guard to protect federal agents and ICE and the FBI in his effort to clean up generational crime in Chicago. Here's the governor claiming that Chicago's illegal alien community should not be harassed, but suggested that enforcing the law, did J.B. Pritzker, is somehow racist. Listen.
In a circumstance where they're simply celebrating their heritage, they shouldn't be interrupted in this way. This is an aim of this government. They don't actually care if you're here and undocumented. They just care if your skin color is a little off of theirs and that you're Latino. They're going to just target you. All of us need to speak up and speak out about the assault on.
They're trying to make it into a race thing. Always, always, always trying to make it into a race thing because they know that's a trigger.
regular residents who are following the law, who are going to work, paying their taxes, who've been around in our city for 10, 20, 30 years. We ought to be protecting those people. And if they want to celebrate Mexican Independence Day, they ought to be able to do that without being terrorized by ICE.
Yes, Senator, he chose his words carefully. He called them residents, not citizens. Senator, as you know, the Latino community broke heavily in a huge way for President Trump in the last election, rejecting the Democrats' lawlessness. Respond, if you will, to the Illinois governor's claim that illegal aliens should be made easy in their illegality and that enforcing U.S. immigration law is somehow racist.
Yeah, look, I got to say, I had not heard that particular clip. Chris, you really know how to piss me off. What a disgusting, racist bigot J.D. Pritzker is. You and I are both Latino. And listen, I don't want to get between J.B. Pritzker and the Domino's pizza line, but I'll tell you what I am willing to get between. It is him and his open doors for every human trafficker, every drug trafficker, every MS-13 and Tren de Aragua gang member. And the Democrats claim that Latinos support illegal immigration. Well, I got a news for you, JB. In the state of Texas in 2024, Donald Trump carried the Latino vote, and so did I, because our communities, like every community, are the victims of the violence of these illegal aliens and gang members that the Democrats trafficked into this country. And the shamelessness, it is amazing to see Democrat politicians who over and over and over again, given a choice, do you stand with a murderer or do you stand with the innocent citizens in your community? Do you stand with a rapist or do you stand with the innocent citizens? Do you stand with a child molester or do you stand with the innocent citizens? Today's Democrat Party picks the murderers and rapists and child molesters every time. And I got to say, I don't understand the mentality of that, but don't you dare claim it's because Latinos want you to, because you know what? We want murderers in jail or the hell out of our country. We don't want them released into our communities and threatening our families.
It is mind-blowing. This stuff that's popping up today, I'm telling you, I'm just ready to drain the swamp, everybody. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. So here is a list. These House Republicans voted with Democrats to block the censure of LaMonica McIver for assaulting federal agents. Don Bacon, Mike Flood, Dave Joyce, Michael Turner, and David Valadao. Republicans who sided with the Democrat who assaulted federal agents, ICE agents, instead of holding him accountable, said, no, we don't need to censor them. It's just, again, we're going to show you everybody that is not on board the MAGA train, that is not on board the America First policy train. Glow, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said, let's go DJT and pray for our President Trump. Amen. And Tracy DeCombre, thank you so much. Said, keep the wave going. Total transparency. That's where we're at right now. If we are setting ourselves up for success with where things are at right now, I just feel like we're this close, everybody. We're this close to, hey, let's just keep fighting, and we're there. Or we allow the left, the swamp, the deep state to win. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
President Trump's economic vision for America, soon to be in the hands of the Supreme Court.
The White House preparing to ask the justices for an expedited ruling on tariffs following a federal appeals court's decision finding most of those tariffs illegal. Team Trump is confident of a Supreme Court victory, but if the ruling sticks, well, the federal government could be on the hook for billions of dollars in back pay to businesses.
And that is a fat-ass tab, considering the amount of revenue that President Trump's tariffs have been raking in. America, we collecting more than $30 billion just in August alone, bringing total revenue for the fiscal year 2025 to more than $183 billion, according to the Treasury Department. Here to discuss our economic dream team, co-founders of Committee to Unleash Prosperity, former Reagan economist Art Laffer, and former senior economic advisor to President Trump, Steve Moore. Great to see both of you. Art, here's my concern.
Yes.
The growing crowing and bragging and boasting about all of the revenue that these tariffs are bringing in, and the talk of them as if this is some linchpin for the government. It's in essence tax revenue.
Yes.
And what if it does go away? Because we haven't cut boo. It was like 1 point, like the tariff revenue is bringing in like, you know, a little more than the big beautiful bill cut in spending annually over the next 10 years. Like, we need it because we're in such fiscal trouble.
Yes.
I don't think we're in fiscal trouble at all, to be honest with you, Dagan. I think this administration...
Oh, really? $37 trillion in debt, no fiscal trouble? $2 trillion deficit? Wow.
Administration's got the stage set for a very strong growth period coming up, and they are bragging about that. They used to brag about, and I hope they're correct on, if they get the revenues from this, they would cut tax rates, income tax rates, and maybe, just maybe, they could get down to the level of Reagan, which would be 28% if they could use the revenues there. But if they do that, that would be okay. But bragging about tax revenue increases legislatively doesn't make any sense to me. But if they use that to reduce income tax rates way down, he's got to beat Reagan. If he doesn't, he'll be the second best president in the U.S. in his second term. And Reagan got the tax rates down to 28%, Dagan. David, you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about, but I want to talk about the Supreme Court decision, how they might decide, Steve, because if they do, the White House thinks that they're going to win this thing in the Supreme Court. I'm not so sure. I mean, if they say it's a tax, and if they say that there wasn't a big enough national emergency to qualify as an IEPA or some other method that you could that President Trump is using for his tariffs, they could still lose this one. No.
I don't know if they could or not. I mean,
well, hold on. That's Steve, but we'll get back to you, Art.
Oh, Steve. Okay. Sorry.
I was just going to say that this is a tough one to predict because you've really got the strict constructionists who tend to be the more conservative Republican type of appointees who might say, well, look, it says very clearly in the Constitution that all tax bills start in the House of Representatives. This was never approved by Congress. Does the president have the unilateral authority to raise tariffs? I'm not a constitutional scholar, but it seems to me it's a tough call. Now, what Trump is saying, David, is that this is an emergency and that Congress gave me an emergency designation of power to impose these tariffs. Whether or not the courts will uphold that, I don't think anybody really knows. We'll have to see. But I agree with Trump. This will be an extraordinarily important precedent for the court, but also it has huge fiscal implications. $150 to $200 billion in terms of tariff revenues that eventually would have to be returned. So it's a
how the hell do you return it?
Ugly mess.
Wow.
How do you return it?
Yeah, you got me on that one, David. I don't know how you do it.
Do you see what they're trying? It's all a big joke, everybody. It's all a big joke to the Democrats. They, instead of saying, oh, wow, we're actually getting new revenue, let's pay down the debt. Let's shore up Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Let's make sure that our people are put first. No, we need to stop it and give money back to these foreign countries, and let's keep giving them foreign aid through USAID. It's all a dang joke, y'all. It makes me so mad because we're required to pay taxes and we don't get a choice. But yet the government is never held accountable when it comes to putting us in debt or raising taxes, spending it on stupid stuff like drag shows in Ecuador, Sesame Street in Iraq, and we've got seniors that need help, and it's just, I'm telling you, this is why the rich do what they do. Because it's a joke. Congress is a joke. The Congress think that the stupid people are the average American worker. That's what Congress thinks, because guess what? We don't get a choice. We don't have enough money in the bank to say we're not going to take in earned income that will just deal with our assets or we'll deal with stuff overseas like the rich people do. But the average American worker gets screwed every single time that Congress can't pull back spending and spends money on stupid foreign policies to try to win over votes. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I wanted to show you this. J.D. Vance decimates the senators today who tried to get gotcha moments with RFK. Said, this is what J.D. Vance said, and I love this, guys. You would never heard this from Kamala Harris or Pence. J.D. Vance said, you all support off-label, untested, and irreversible hormonal therapies for children, mutilating our kids, and enriching Big Pharma. You're full of crap, and everyone knows it. That's what I'm talking about. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up, like button. Guys, so much bombshell breaking news today. I want to say thank you so much. Tracy DeCambra said, I'm a senior woman on a fixed income. I wish I could give more to this channel, Joel, because I believe in you, this channel, and this community. Amen. Tracy, we appreciate you so much for your faithful support. Show Tracy some love in the chat, everybody. Andy, thank you so much, brother, for the super chat. Said, Big Pharma whistleblower suggests Dr. Francis Boyle was murdered before testifying in Dutch court about the COVID-19 vaccine bioweapon. I don't doubt it. All this stuff that we're hearing today, I do not doubt it. Show Andy some love in the chat. I want to say, if you're watching, if you're not subscribed, please consider joining our family and hitting the thumbs up, like button. We appreciate you so much, and thank you so much for all your support. We just want to continue serving you every single day with the top news. MDDS75, let's go. Said, asking all of your loyal followers, Joel, if you believe our AG will ever prosecute Letitia, or especially BHO, Barack Hussein Obama, Comey, Clapper, Brennan, or Hillary, or any Democrats Elon showed her proof of, like many have said no. I believe that Attorney General Pam Bondi is, I'm going to be hopeful. I'm saying she's going to. Because if they don't, we're going to lose it all. We're going to lose everything. And I'm hopeful that there will be enough pressure from the American people to prosecute them all. Show MDDS75 some love in the chat, everybody. And yes, I will work on the captions. I'm putting it here in the notes again. 1 second. Thank you so much for your support. Want to say thank you to all of our members of the channel, those that support us through your membership, through giving a super chat. Remember, on the 22nd of every single month, we donate this money live to a local charity, live on stream. This guy right here is donating live to a local stream. This month to a local children's home. We want to give some special love to Jogo for gifting 10 TrueLife News memberships and for the super chats. Thank you so much, Jeffrey Hatt, for the super chat. Gregosaurus Galoris, Miss Real, Robert Cash, Andy, OG of the channel. Show some love to Andy. And Chris Prez for gifting 5 TrueLife News memberships. Show Chris some love in the chat. James Huber, Elaine Soltis. Show Elaine some love in the chat, everybody. Deanna Rankin, Lori Rapier, Elaine Soltis. Don't forget to show user HN30, which is Danny, some love in the chat. Lily Ignacio, thank you so much. Mama Wolf, thank you so much, Mama Wolf. Domino Riot, show Domino Riot some love in the chat. Tracy DeCambra, we appreciate you so much. Pretty Butterfly Glow, thank you so much for the super chat. We are here to serve you all. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for liking our videos, sharing our videos on X, Facebook. It means the world to us. We just want to bring you the breaking news every single day. We love you, appreciate you, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.